All right, we're still tracking that big downpour that moved from the New Orleans city and parts of St. Bernard and much of New Orleans East and is now centered really more so toward Tarrytown and getting close to Belle Chase. So the movement has been just kind of a very slow migration off to the southeast. Also, though, we have one more little shower here over parts of the city and into New Orleans East itself. So here is that heaviest bit of rain right now. You can see right over that part of Harvey Boulevard. And again, it's moving toward Belle Chase, pretty close now. So if you're in Belle Chase, you might get this pretty big downpour very soon. It's bringing brief heavy rain, lightning, maybe some gusty winds, but that's about it. We're not expecting a whole lot of extremely strong storms today, although the rain could get heavy at times and, as I was saying, cause a couple of flooding issues, possibly pretty briefly it looks like here and there. Also a downpour you saw over Cutoff. And look at this, not far from Lacombe, we're starting to see a little shower develop just within the past couple minutes on radar. Rainfall amounts have not been very high for most of our official recording sites. However, the city of New Orleans sites did show Central City about 1.5 inches and the fairgrounds up to about 2 inches of rain with that downpour that was over New Orleans earlier. And you can see our sky has changed even since the top of the show, with clouds billowing up and a bit of blue sky showing up now on our camera as that downpour migrates to the southeast. Temperatures not too bad in the 80s, considering we could be in the mid-90s at this point. It could be a lot worse. Our feels like temperatures ranging from rained areas where we're in the 80s for feels like temperatures into the lower triple digits for drier spots. Our dew point temperatures, our measure of humidity has come up a bit, so you may have felt it. I did for sure when I was out early this morning. Satellite and radar showing that stalled front. We still have all the same ingredients if you've been watching the forecast the past couple of days. Scattered rain expected. Our heat is there. It is August, but it's not excessively hot, you could say. And then here's our forecast hourly through this afternoon and evening. Rain chance pretty decent, 40 to 50%. And then our temperatures come down through the 80s. Tonight we'll look for lows north and south of Lake Pontchartrain in the 70s, with only a slight chance for a couple of coastal showers getting going by early tomorrow. This is 5 p.m. today, so pretty good coverage of some showers and storms. 8 p.m. most of it is wrapping up. This is tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Some people heading back to school, maybe for the first time or possibly not the first time. If you were going earlier this week, you can see we do have some scattered showers and storms around through the afternoon, whatever your plans are. And then by 7 p.m., most of it calms down. But we'll keep that daily chance of rain in the forecast really into the weekend and beyond. Tropical outlook, we have 3 spots that are active right now. You could say 1 tropical storm Dexter and then 2 spots that have a medium chance of developing. So we'll cover those quickly. We'll start with the one closest to us. This one has a 40% chance of development. And you can see there's not much happening with it right now, just some clouds and maybe a few showers. But you can see our model showing maybe a bit of circulation tightening up by this weekend off the coast, perhaps of North Carolina. So 2 to 3+ inches of rain expected along the coast. Looks like it might then start to drift out to the western Atlantic, farther out to sea. Also note, we get a surge of moisture over our area by early next week. And I think what it should do, we're not highlighted for any tropical development at this point, but it should just keep a continuation of this pattern we've had with daily showers and storms helping out with the heat. Also, you may be curious about that farther out wave. This one has a medium chance, 50% for development, and just tracking the rotation with this, you can see this one might curve off to the north early. However, behind it, very typical as we get further into the month of August, more tropical waves heading out. Now, there is still some dry air, so we'll have to see what happens with that, but we'll continue, of course, as we get toward the peak of the season. Early September, we'll continue to track everything for you, of course. Tropical storm Dexter expected to move out over the northern cooler waters, and interestingly, it may drop from tropical storm status by Thursday, but could increase its winds. And so that's a difference between the post-tropical and what's called an extratropical system. So tropical system has all of your usual ingredients, warm core, very symmetrical. Post-tropical is where it's transitioned to a different type of system, and it includes extratropical systems as well as remnant lows. So extratropical systems can still be quite strong, and they can bring some effects to land, even though they're far from the tropics and not officially a warm core tropical system. All right, little nerdy stuff for you. 7-day forecast shows those temperatures pretty close to average, and rain chances also about average for this point in August.
A popular clothing company's recent advertisement